Hi, Louis.
Hi, Shivani. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Because yesterday I was on another Zoom call and the caller said that my mic sounded kind of muffled. Can you hear me
Oh,
okay? What
Yeah,
about
I
other
can hear
people?
you too, Louis.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. This is Elaine.
Okay, you can hear me fine, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. Wonderful. All right. So Shivani, I think we'll be good to go. We're just waiting for people
okay.
to come on.
Sounds good.
Um, And after I introduce you, then we'll just start. Oh, actually, I think we're already even automatically recording because I don't even see that red button. It just says pause or stop recording. So because of the settings, it looks like we're recording this chat, even now. So, all
Okay.
right.
Sounds good. And it looks like I'm able to share my screen as well, so that's good.
Okay, cool. So
Okay, I'll stay on mute until
we
folks
have
start
about
to
8
come.
minutes before it starts. Let me step away for a few minutes. I'm going to put
Sure.
stop video there. Uh, you can still hear me, right? Okay. Because I couldn't hear you just now. Shivani, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Sorry, I muted
You
myself
did
for a minute.
unmute yourself. Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, Louis, can you hear us, Pastor Kevin and Heidi?
Good morning.
He just said he stepped away for a few minutes, so if you want, I can hear you. This is Elaine. Louis has left the building for a moment.
Amen. So is your visual screen not on?
That is because I don't have makeup and my hair is up in a ponytail because I just got out of the pool. So no, visual screen is not on.
Amen. Well, did you have a good swim or what?
Water aerobics. Yeah, it's lovely. A little cold, but very nice.
Maybe we should turn that down. How is our audio on your end?
I can hear you. Everybody is muted. You can just look at their little pictures and their little red microphones down in the corners.
Right, but you can hear us clearly?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're gonna mute.
We're just doing like a check to make sure everything's good.
Just hang tight, everyone. We're about 5 minutes away from starting, okay?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Gotta have Kleenex handy during COVID. I try to sneeze into a tissue whenever I can, and you know how the air is horrible these days because of all the wildfires, so I find myself sneezing a lot. I don't know about you guys, but
Hi, Louis. It's Kathleen.
hi, how are you?
I'm good. It's smoky up here in Tehachapi too,
Oh
so
man, yeah, I bet.
yeah.
Okay, it's nice to see a lot of people joining us. It's
We have
wonderful.
a new grant writer over here, and she's going to join too, Lisa.
Yeah, I saw that she had signed up.
Mhm.
Hi, Lewis.
We got Teresa.
Yes.
Hi.
In Ridgecrest. Hello.
Hello.
The air sucks here too.
Yep. We've been having some really dramatic sunsets though. Can't complain about those. They're beautiful, but they are kind of scary when you think about the particulate soup that we're living in.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
I see Lo from
Thank you
Path
for doing
Point,
this.
D from the African American Network. Hi.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Pastor Kevin, of course. You're probably one of the first ones to sign in. Elaine from Dress for Success. Jeremiah from Bark. And some new faces as well. All right. Eddie from the Red Cross. Great job, Red Cross, on everything that you're doing with the hurricanes and the wildfires. I don't envy you, but I applaud your effort.
Yeah, we have some really great volunteers, so thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. So we're anticipating about 70 some people, and I only see close to 30 that have logged in. So Shivani, are you okay with us waiting a couple of minutes just to see if maybe a few more people?
Sure, that's totally fine, Louis.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, this webinar is being recorded, and the slide deck that Shivani will be presenting from will be made available to you guys, so that you can review the material and also share it with others in your agencies that maybe haven't had an opportunity to attend this training. Okay, we're probably going to get started because I know everyone's time is precious, and a lot of you know me, some of you don't, but my name is Luis Medina. I'm the Director of Community Impact for Kern Community Foundation. And I want to welcome everyone to the first in a series of nonprofit strengthening trainings that we're offering, and we're calling it Growing Resiliency. You know, our foundation's mission statement is growing community, growing philanthropy. Well, this is Growing Resiliency. How did this effort come about? In June of this year, Kern Community Foundation conducted a survey of more than 300 local nonprofits to try to get a good understanding of where our nonprofit community was in light of COVID-19 challenges, I should say, and the type of assistance our nonprofit partners needed to weather the storm and to continue their work effectively. And it's very possible that a number of you who are on this Zoom meeting today were some of our survey respondents. So you can rest assured that your feedback was valuable to us. We surveyed more than 300 local nonprofits. We received feedback from close to 130 nonprofit partners, which is good. That's more than a third. And that has helped to guide this training effort. Not surprisingly, one of the biggest needs that our partners identified was the need for grant searches and grant writing. So to kick off this training, we're going to help you with get acquainted with a new tool that's going to help tremendously in finding state grants and also loans that are affordable to nonprofits. And today I am pleased to introduce my co-host for this training. Her name is Shivani Bose Varela. She's the project manager for the California Grants Portal. And it's a project of the California State Library. The website is grants.ca.gov, and it just launched in July of this year. It's a tremendous one-stop shop destination for finding all grants and loans offered on a competitive or first-come basis by state agencies to qualifying applicants. It is a portal, and Shivani will explain more about how that works. Not only will she be giving us a tour of grants.ca.gov, as an added bonus, Shivani will also be providing a tour of the state library's website, library.ca.gov, which is a great resource for many types of research, advocacy efforts, and also resources for visually impaired clients that your agencies might have. And then she'll also be talking a little bit about, how we're going to be conducting this training, how you can ask questions, etc. The webinar is being recorded. Like I said, the PowerPoint slides that Shivani has prepared will be made available. And I have to tell you, this is my first time ever co-hosting a Zoom meeting. So I'm learning the ins and outs of this brave new world, just like all of you are. So be patient with me. And with that, I'm going to let Shivani take it away.
Thank you so much, Louis. I'm really excited to meet you all virtually and also share a great tool that California State has come up with to help, the community during this need of pandemic to find grant and funding that everyone's looking for in one central place. We know that there's a struggle in the nonprofit world and also in local government, other organizations that are looking for funding in state to have to find grant opportunities by going to individual department and trying to find that information and hoping that you can find all grants that you're eligible for. So this effort was actually came out of a legislative bill back in 2018, the Grants Information Act of 2018, AB 2252. So the bill was passed in 2018 and was given a task to library. So I'm going to actually share my screen so I can actually walk you through a little bit about a background of what this legislation was, how it came about. We'll talk about what approach we took to develop this site. And then I will give you a tour towards the portal and how to search and find the grants that you might be eligible for. So, and I do have another person from California State Library, Tom Negretti, who's also joining me on this call. He'll be able to assist with any questions with library.ca.gov and anything else. And so thank you, Tom, for joining the call as well. I'm going to share my screen. And just before we start, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in your chat box, which is right next to your share screen on the bottom. We will be going through those chat box. Louis is going to help me while I'm talking to acknowledge any questions that you might have throughout the site. And then at the end, I'll be able to look through the chat to acknowledge more questions. Okay. Okay, so like I mentioned, this legislative bill was passed in 2018. The task was for California State Library to create one central place for all state grant opportunities that are state administered and that are being provided on competitive and first-come award process, including loans and federal assistance funds. So this information is currently being submitted by all state agencies who have grant opportunities for different applicant types. And the data is coming from those state agencies that is being displayed on the portal. The portal is only for information, so it's not like grants.gov where you can actually apply for your grant opportunity on the website. You still have to go through the state agency's guidelines and RFP review before you can apply. But this is a first step to kind of understand what you might be eligible for. And I'll show you how you can filter and find opportunities that might give you more than just one, that are available in that context, so that hopefully it gives you everything that you need to know to be able to review and determine if you're eligible before you can move forward in reviewing the RFP and going through that rigorous process of applying. And so if you wanted to know more about the legislation itself, it had a lot of standard information that was asked by the state agencies to put the information in a uniform way. So it is easy to consume for any grant seeker who's looking for funding, so that you can determine whether or not you're eligible. So that information, I'll show you that example as well in a bit. The goal was to make sure that the grant seekers to find and view and compare different grant opportunities, better positioning them to ultimately apply for those, right? So which they're best suited for. The data set is from scratch. So there was no data set before of any grants in one place. So this is brand new. It went live on July 1, 2020, where state agencies started to input data. And then we publicly launched it on the 15th of July. Okay. So a little bit about what approach we took in creating this. How did we know that this website was going to be actually valuable to the community out there, right? And there's a lot of tools out there. We wanted to make sure that we talk to the people that it's going to be useful to. So we met with the nonprofit grant seekers. So Cal Nonprofit was a co-author on the bill and who represents over 10,000 different nonprofits. We began to meet with different state agencies to understand all the different types of grant seekers and to learn how state agencies envisioned incorporating the site into their business practices. As we knew that this is something new for them as well. As we learned that local governments were also eligible, right, for many state awards, and we began to reaching out to those organizations representing them, such as California State Associations of Counties. So we ultimately built a list of approximately 900 grant seekers in the beginning that included nonprofits, public agencies, businesses, and they were also all willing to give us feedback throughout the design and development of the project itself. So we surveyed them. We held webinars with those groups to learn about their expectations and ideas for this site. We used this feedback to build initial wireframes. We also sought out feedback via survey and webinars for those wireframes. So as we move forward, overall, we collected that feedback and put it back into our process of developing this site. And we wanted to make sure this process was repeated, and when the beta was ready for the site, we asked those folks to come back and give us a survey and feedback as well. So this was collaboratively built between making sure that the grant seekers and grant makers are both comfortable and knowing that this is going to be a valuable tool going forward for them. This site is open data, which means that all the data that is being provided on the site is available on data.ca.gov. Those of you who are aware that there's an open data portal for the state, you can actually go and download the data set and in an Excel or a CSV and actually filter and look at that data in a more of a deeper dive. Okay. Any questions there before I move forward? I know it was a lot of technical conversation, so I just want to make sure there's any questions before we show you the grants.ca.gov.
I don't see any questions, Shivani.
Okay,
so just
great.
Going.
Let me share my screen again. So I'm actually going to have to stop share real quick. Share the website. Okay. So today, if you go to grants.ca.gov, this is the homepage. The homepage was designed to ensure that it is easy to consume for grant seekers to be able, when we're coming to find grant opportunities, the way they need to find it. So in other words, there are different ways you can find the same information, filter the information the way you like it, and see what comes as a result. So in this case, on top here, there's a sentence that tells you I am a, and you pick the applicant type you are. So if you're a nonprofit, you can just select nonprofit. You're looking for funding in what category. You don't have to select all of them. You can select just the applicant type and hit show me opportunities, and it'll show you opportunities for nonprofits. And then the categories are 19 categories that are in higher levels. So for example, there's agriculture, there's disadvantaged communities, there's energy, housing, libraries, parks, rec, and arts. All of these were created to make sure that it is not overwhelming for so many categories that you can't search for them easily. And then you can also find for timeframes. So these timeframes are generated based on the data that is in the portal from the grants that are in here. So let's say you want to see something that is closing in a month, right? So that way it gives you a time frame of how much time you want to look at for application deadline. Once you have selected that, you hit show me opportunities, and it'll filter the opportunities based on what you selected. Or you can say, I want to see everything, and you can do that. And I'll show you that in a minute. So as you move forward down below, there's more resources for you for FAQs. So any questions that you might have, general things that, you know, we try to build these based on talking to our grant seekers. So there's FAQs and then glossary. So glossary is basically the definitions of the terms that are being used by the state agencies. So you understand what they're really putting in there. For a visually appealing way, you can look for categories. So I just want to see environment and water related grant opportunities. You can click on that. It'll take you to the same filtered search. Or you can say, I just want to look at based on who I am. So if I'm a business or individual or nonprofit, so forth, you can look for that. Down here, you'll see recently posted. So these are most recent grants that are being posted, or you can see all grants here. And then here's the total number of grants that are in the portal currently. So there are 135 grant opportunities that are open and active, and they're also forecasted. So I'll walk you through what forecasted mean in a minute. There's over 18 billion current available funding that is on the grants portal. 4 were added last week. So kind of gives you an idea on the statistics as well. So as you move forward, you can actually see about this site. There's a statistics dashboard as well. It gives you a bit more of a statistical analysis of break it down by top 10 departments that have grant opportunities, if you're looking for how many categories, things like that. So that's available there. The most important part for us is find grants. So when you click on find grants, it'll take you to this page. This is where you'll see all 135 grant opportunities. So like I said before, when you said show me everything, this is where it'll take you. Up here, you can, again, filter by agency. If you know a department that you used to apply for, you can type in that. You don't have to know this. Or you can say, you know, again, category, I want to just look for consumer protection related grants. Here, I'm going to actually do eligible applicant for nonprofit and public agencies. And again, default is it'll show you all forecasted grant opportunities and active. Forecasted opportunities are those that are, they are not active, so you can't apply for them yet. But there is information available for you to start tracking them. So we know that the state grant practices, there's some grant opportunities that are very rigorous, and some of the departments actually hold workshops and things like that to help with applying for those grant opportunities. So forecasted opportunities are those that might be annual based. So every year they come out with a grant opportunity, but it gives you that information ahead of time so that you can start tracking it to see when it becomes active. So you can actually up here save your search. So like right now I have nonprofit and public agency. If I hit save the current refinement, it's going to tell me I'm saving forecasted grant opportunities inactive, any agency category, but I want nonprofit and public agency, and I don't care about the disbursement method. And if you save this, next time you come to the portal, it's going to show you that same filtration. So you don't have to come back and every time filter. Okay, so I'm actually going to do a filter on nonprofit and public agency. I'm going to hit apply. as I go down, it'll show me all the grants that are available for nonprofits and public agencies. There's hundreds of them, which is great news. In this case, you can see the department that is giving out this grant. It opened on this date, it closes on this date, and whether it's active or forecasted. So let's say, for example, this is a grant opportunity I'm really, really interested in. We'll do the first one with the pest control. But I'm not sure, based on this information, it doesn't give me much. So I want to know a little bit more. So as I click on more details, it gives you what the purpose of it is, who is eligible to as applicant, and what is the geographic requirements are. So things that you might want to know initially to determine whether this is something you want to further pursue reading towards. So let's say I want to read this a little bit more because that's still not enough for me. So as you go here, it tells you it's a grant, not a loan. So again, there are loans on this portal. When was it last updated? And then as you go down, the most important the parts of the grant are important dates. Obviously, you want to know what the application deadline looks like. What are the funding details, right? So in this case, this is the estimated total available funding, expected number of awards. So as you hover over, as you can see, it tells you the definition right there. So it tells you what this means. So dependent basically means it depends on the application process. Same with the estimated amount per award, also depends on the application process. And then you can read the description. This is where all the state agencies are supposed to put your keywords, things that that are really important about this grant opportunity. So this is an important piece of information here. And then if they have any, if it's a funding source is a state or federal or both. So we know that some state agencies receive federal funding, but they're administering the grant itself. So they're supposed to be putting those in here. So here you can find a little bit more about funding source if they have any information there. This is the most important part. How do you apply for this grant? So let's say I'm really, really interested in this grant. So this is where once you click this, it'll take you to the department's page where you'll read the guidelines, you'll read the RFP, and then how to apply there. So you'll apply on their process, however their process is. And down here, a lot of times departments will actually give you planned events. And I'll show you an example of one if there's one in the search. Here's the grant information, who you contact about this grant. So if you had questions or you're like, you know what, I'm not sure about this, or I just want to know a little bit more, you can contact the person that's listed under the contact information. Okay, let me go back to my search. Okay, so I'm actually gonna just pick a random one here. So this one, let's see if it's a grant actually. So let me find one that's a loan. Might not be one in here. Okay, so most of them are grants, it looks like. So either way, it's the same process. You'll see that there's active, most of them are all active. There's not many forecasted here. So I'm actually gonna clear my search so I can show you let's see. So if you guys have a policy area you want me to search for, I'm happy to put it in the chat so that I can maybe search for that and maybe show you results in an area that you're interested in. But let me try to find forecasted. Okay. So here's all the forecasted grant opportunities. There are limited information, so because they're not active or ready for you to apply for, there might not be information that's available all the way through. So in this case right here, it'll tell you that it's a forecasted opportunity, but the departments will put as much information as they possibly can and have at this moment. So like, for example, here it says this information, it opens August 7th, which means it should have one active one out there. But it gives you the information to start kind of thinking about this grant opportunity, see if you're eligible for it.
Shivani, some
Yes.
suggestions that have come up are diabetes, animal
Okay.
health welfare, education, foster care, COVID.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so let me go and back and I'm going to search for one. Well, let's do COVID. So I'm going to do COVID-19. All right. Oops, sorry. I'm going to close my chat box here and see. So here's all the grant opportunities currently related to COVID-19. So you have, this is a loan program. So this is one of the loans that are available currently for emergency help. Here's the home key. It's for, I believe, homeless shelters and other housing related grant opportunity. And then there's a museum grant program through natural resources. So those are COVID-19 that are active grant opportunities. And then let me see what other policy areas. Oops, sorry. Clicked on the wrong. Go. Education. Okay. Let's see. Education. Okay, so these are all education related in some way or form. So again, it is not going to give you exactly what you're looking for, but if the keyword is general enough, you will at least get everything in that keyword and policy area so that you can go through and see what is it that you might be eligible for, right? And so you just go to the keyword and then you type in the policy area you're interested in or a keyword you're interested in. Here's the little tooltip that tells you what potentially you can add in there. If you knew a title of a grant, you can also put that in specifically and hit apply and it will show you that as well. Sometimes the grants have been closed, so make sure that you click on this box to see all if you wanted to see closed and active, because the closed can give you an idea of what was open at some point, right? What was given out at some point.
So I noticed that in the keyword search, it suggested high school. Can you just do a search now using high school, compare it to what came up for you when you did education? Sure.
So there's high school. So I just put in high school. So it gives you all the, oh, sorry, my bad. Let me clear this search real quick. I have too many search running. Okay. So now it gives me anything that has high school in it.
So that narrows it down quite a bit.
Yes, it narrows it down quite a bit because it's very specific, right? It's not just education, which could be anything. So yes, so you can search by, so if the keyword exists in the description or in the information that is provided by the department, you will see results. There are times that you won't have any results. Which basically means that there aren't any grant opportunities in that area. So just know that there are sometimes, there's only 135 grant opportunities, but not all of them are related to everything that you might be interested in. Doesn't mean that there might not be grant coming up. It just means that right now there's no grant opportunities that are open. So one way to make sure that you can get the most latest and greatest is for you to subscribe to our notification. So the way you can subscribe to a notification for you to get it in an email is you go to subscribe up here and you can scroll down, type in this information. You can either get a daily or a weekly digest of what's in the portal. Here you can select whether you want all the new grants that are coming out, including the forecasted, or you can select the area that you're interested in. So in this case, some of you have said education, so you can just click on education and subscribe. So anytime there's a new grant opportunity that is related to education, you'll get an email that states that here's the grant information. Okay.
There's a question, Shivani, about how often the website is updated.
It's up to whenever the grant opportunities become available by the state agencies. So again, California State Library has this portal. We're hosting it for the state agencies. So the data that's coming into the portal is from different departments that have grant opportunities. So we're working with them collaboratively to make sure that every time there's a grant opportunity that is active and live for people to apply, it is on the portal.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so does newest grants also apply to loans? Yes. So grant as a definition on this legislation is including loans. So when I say grants, it's not just grant opportunities, it's including loans. So everything in the newest grants would mean that you'll also get a digest of the loans that are being added.
So just a quick time check, we're at the half-hour mark. Okay, just so you can keep.
Sure, thank you. So contact us. So we are open for feedback. We would love to get any feedback that you might have. So as we have been developing this site to make sure that the feedback that you have is here, so you can contact us by filling out this form if you had any feedback, so that we can keep enhancing and adding valuable things to this portal. So that's how you can contact us there. I'm gonna stop sharing this part, go back to my slides. Okay, anything else? Any other questions on grants portal at this moment? If not, then I'm gonna move into library.ca.gov and the services that are open for public from California State
Comment, Shivani, if
Sure.
you don't mind. I encourage everyone to go and check out the FAQ section, because when I first found out about this website was because I'm on the email list for calnonprofit.org, and so they sent out the e-blast in mid-July when this was open, and everyone was excited about it. And just by reading through the FAQs, I gave myself like a mini tour of the website and was very impressed by it. So I really encourage you guys to, go and poke around in there on your own and explore it.
Yeah, definitely. And as you're exploring, if you come up with any questions or anything like that, feel free to contact us. Currently, we don't have technical assistance provided, but we will try to help and find you resources that might be available for state agencies if you have any specific questions. And then we also have social media, so feel free to follow us on Twitter or Facebook. We do add updates periodically on this portal that is being added, or something new based on new feature or anything like that. So feel free to follow us on California State Library's Twitter and Facebook as well. Okay, so I'm going to move right into library.ca.gov. So library.ca.gov has several services that are open for public. And here are some of the services. So I'm going to actually walk you through some of them. So let me share my screen so I can show you that real quick. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so when you go to library.ca.gov today, this is the home. Actually, this is not the home page. This is the home page. And if, as you're going through them, you can see that, there's the grants portal here. You can get to it from here as well. There are services, popular links, there's still statistics, and so forth. So the most important part, if you are looking for services that are listed on my slide deck, you'll go to services here. Some of those are listed here, and I'm also providing the links to each of those services in my slide deck. So you can actually just click on it and it'll take you to the exact page. One of the services that we have is Ask a Librarian. So up here on top, you'll see that, hold on just a second, Ask a Librarian in the corner. So when you click on this service is prioritized for state employees mainly. All Californians, you can still use state library online form, which is ask a new question. So it takes you here to make any inquiries about any collections or whether you can borrow specific state library materials through an interlibrary loan with your local library, public libraries. You can use this form, ask a question, to look up any historical information about California. So for example, if you are looking for any relation to state government or legislation, you can actually, ask for that question. And you can even get help for your, any kids in the family that are looking for a California history questions, you can actually ask those questions here as well. So the Ask a Librarian service is basically for someone in library to come get back to you with that information that you're looking for. Okay, so that's one service that is highlighted for public. Genealogy toolkit is also available. That is, so the library staff has put together an online tooltip with tips and list of resources and links that might be helpful for member of public to do your own genealogy research. So that's available if anyone is interested in that. And then we have California K-12 online content projects. So that's also another resource for children, educators and parents that want a quality educational content resources online, like school library databases and things like that for homework or research or classroom and so forth. So we have a lot of those services here. And then this is, so we also have library services and resources for people with print disability. Like Louis was mentioning earlier, we have talking audio and braille books by mail, downloadable books and magazines via desktop or mobile app, descriptive videos, and audio playback equipments that are available for loan. They're free of charge, so to Californians unable to read conventional print due to visual or physical disability. To be eligible, the residents need to have a, the certification from their doctor or medical professional. It could be from their social worker or social agency. So that's something that is available. This is actually specific to Kern County. So they have brailleinstitute.org, books for visually impaired. So this resource is available as well in Kern County specifically. And we, on our library site, we have braille and talking books as well. So you can search for that here or on the homepage. So that specific service is also available. And there's some state government publication services and so forth. And there's a lot of other services. We have a free online newsletter from State Library. So you can sign up for any new events that State Library is hosting. There are Braille and Talking Book Library events that happen. You can also sign up for monthly listing for official publications that are received by California State Library from the state government agencies. So things like, any reports and things like that. We do also lunch with Side of Research. So we have a newsletter that runs Mondays with a listing of free policy and research lunch events around the Capitol. Well, not in person for right now, but those are available in the future as well. So there's a lot of services. Like I said, I have added links here. So you can click on the link itself and it will take you exactly the page that you're looking for. So you don't have to go and search for it.
Ivani, there's a couple of questions about whether the information on library.ca.gov is available in Spanish or other languages.
So I believe there is a Google Translate on the bottom of the library tab. Let me take it down to the bottom. Yes, so you can select a language here. It is a Google Translate. Unfortunately, it's not translated completely, but you can select a language that you're interested in here, and it should be able to translate that for you. Any other questions?
Other questions? No?
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop share this and go back to my slide deck.
So, was that the last of your slides?
Yes, that is the last of my slide. I just want to let you guys know that if you are interested in us doing a deeper dive with your organization on the grants portal, any way that you would like us to present, let us know. Contact us through our contact us page. We'll be happy to do that for anyone who's interested.
I like the comments that we're getting back, that people are happy with these. I thought, both of these resources are excellent resources that our nonprofit community needed to know about. I am particularly excited about, I want to start asking the librarian questions about things. I think my first question is going to be, what was the 1918 pandemic like in California? Because I want to compare what it was like then to what we're.
Yeah, there's a lot of research out there. So yes, definitely. Feel free to send that question in.
And then I want to encourage everyone by just echoing something that you and I talked about yesterday, Shivani, as we were preparing for this training, is that this website is only as good as the time that you put into it. Not just with the grant searches, but remember, because they designed it interactively, if you find something that could be improved, feed that back, because this is something that our tax dollars are paying for. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's the option to like save a search. Oh my God, what a time saver that's going to be, especially for people who want to plan their grant writing year ahead of time and know what's coming up, and know that, maybe at the beginning of December, I'm going to have to start on this search, but what was it? I can't remember. If you have it, that makes your job much easier. I think it's going to be a great time saver.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, our hope is that you guys are utilizing this resource, passing it out to any of your colleagues or friends who are interested in looking for funding. We want this tool to be a useful tool for everyone to be able to find funding in one place, right? So we know that there's a lot of conversations and that we've actually have talked in nonprofit world and other organizations who are been looking for funding, and this was all developed to make sure that it ease off and finding that opportunity in one place and be able to find out if you're eligible for it before you can review that heavy, time-consuming RFP. So I'm hoping that this resource is valuable in that context.
Okay, can you go on to the next slide then, Shivani?
Yeah, so I'm going to hand it over to Louis, so he has the next slide for the next time you guys have the training.
People are impatiently asking about, okay, so this is the first in a series, so what's the next webinar that's coming up? And here it is. Mark your calendars. Exactly 4 weeks from today, on Wednesday, September 30th at 11 a.m., again, same time, the part 2 of Growing Resiliency will be an introduction to another little-known resource to the nonprofit community called the California Capital Access Program, or CalCAP, which provides loans for small businesses. The presenter will be Janae Davis. She's the Deputy Director. This actually is a program of the California Pollution Control Financing Authority, believe it or not, but it's chaired by the State Treasurer. And what's kind of unique about this, well, let me tell you first why we decided to offer this. So this is going to be the other training that we are bookending the month of September with. In the survey that we conducted, one of the other needs that our nonprofit partners identified was the need for finding financial or capital access tools and non-traditional financial resources to help them remain sustainable. So CalCAP offers loans for land acquisition, construction or renovation of buildings, startup costs, capital projects, collateral support, and working capital. And because it's run by CPCFA, they help with such things as making facilities ADA compliant. They help with seismic retrofitting of facilities. They help you, if you're a nonprofit that uses a small fleet of trucks, for example, that need to be replaced with California emissions compliant vehicles, they will help with those types of loans. And as far as lenders are concerned, they provide up to 100% coverage on certain loan defaults for lenders. So there is this afternoon at 1 o'clock, exactly an hour from when this this webinar is scheduled to finish, there'll be another e-blast through our constant contact that will have the details of the next webinar that's coming up, or you know, you just RSVP for it the same way you RSVP to me. If you don't want to wait for that email and you know you want to attend this, just send me an email at lewis@kernfoundation.org and say, I want to attend part 2 of growing resiliency, and then we'll put you down on the list. But we also want you to, if you have lenders that you've worked with in the past that maybe you thought, you know, oh, this bank or this credit union would be great to do business with, but for some reason you couldn't qualify for loan because of your nonprofit status, the size of your business. Tell them about this webinar, because there will be information that will be provided to lenders during this webinar, because CalCap wants to grow its lender network in Kern County. So you can help us also reach out to people in the banking community and let them know about this webinar that's coming up. Of course, we will also be reaching out to our partners in the financial services community. But if you can also, if you know people who might benefit from this, have them attend. So let's see if we have any questions. No, I think I just have some really positive comments from people, and we're glad that you enjoyed this training. And if you know, if that September 30th webinar time does not work for you guys, remember these webinars are going to be recorded. Now, that's all we have planned so far in this series, but rest assured that this will continue. We're already talking to other training providers from the network that we work with, including people in Candid, who runs GuideStar, including people in Foundant, which is the provider for our grants application, online grants application portal. So we're turning to our partner network to help us deliver quality training to our nonprofit partners. When will the training be available? Yes, of course, these trainings will be available. We'll provide links to all that. And then, Shivani, I understand that in your PowerPoint, wherever you're referencing like other like web pages and all that, those will be hyperlinked, correct? So that people can click on it. And
Yes. Oops, sorry, hold on. Yes, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't muted. Yes, so all the hyperlinks to the library.ca.gov are linked. Grants.ca.gov is linked. If you wanted to read a little bit more about the legislation, I have the link to the bill itself. So yes, all the links are there as a resource for you guys to, you know, be able to look through this information and dig deeper at your own time. If you are interested in any presentations, feel free to contact me on CA Grants Portal at library.ca.gov. I'll put that in the chat for you guys as well. And that way we can coordinate and make sure. I know a couple of folks have mentioned that. So just wanted to make sure it's there for you guys to contact me.
There's a question, are there any grant writing webinars available? You know, right now in the series, we really want to beef you guys up and really work on your resiliency. So these webinars are going to be designed to focus on your sustainability and new ways of thinking about fundraising and all that. We don't have a grant writing one planned per se, but I am researching about free opportunities for getting those other kinds. Whatever we can offer you, if we can find something that's free, we'll share that information with you so that you can go and take advantage of that on your own. Because we are very much invested in helping you guys become stronger as nonprofits. So the answer to that question is no and yes. So, you know, just keep monitoring the announcements that we push out through our website, through our Facebook, and then also through the Facebook page of the Kern Alliance of Nonprofits that we're a member of. And there'll be lots of information shared with everyone there. Okay? And we finished with about 12 minutes to spare. So everybody give a round of applause to Shivani.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all for joining and
Time.
allowing us to present you with the tool that hopefully will be helpful.
All right. And if you
And
don't
thank
have
you, Louis, for having us. We really appreciate that.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah, of course.
And with that, if there are no further questions, then bye everyone, and we'll see you all on
Thank you.
September 30th. If you want to attend the CalCap training, please, that's a great one. Don't forget also that the County of Kern currently has a grant opportunity open for grants in the amount of $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000 for nonprofits that didn't qualify for the COVID relief that was offered earlier in the year. So if that's you, then make sure to check that out. We actually linked to a KGET story on our Facebook page. Our Facebook is Kern Community Foundation or at Kern Foundation. And that was just in the news yesterday. But it does include a link to the county application so that you can see whether your agency applies for that. It's a $1 million pot of money. And again, you know, the grants are 5,000, 10,000, or 20,000. The deadline is September 30th. So you have a whole month in case you want to apply for that. All right. Great. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.